You ever open your banking app and feel like the air just disappears from your lungs? I remember that Friday so vividly. I had just finished my shift at work. Nothing special, just another long day, and I needed to transfer a little money to cover my car insurance. I was tired, hungry, and already dreading my next early morning shift. I opened my app expecting to see the $800 I'd saved sitting there quietly like it always did, but it didn't. Instead, I saw $267. I blinked. I thought maybe the app glitched. Maybe I clicked on the wrong account. I refreshed. Still 267? I felt the blood drain from my face. I sat down on the floor in my kitchen, heart racing, hands trembling, trying to understand what the hell just happened. Where was my money? I called the bank. The representative was calm and kind, walking me through security questions. And then she said, there was a $2,550 cash withdrawal made in person 3 days ago at a branch across town. 3 days ago, in person, I hadn't been to that side of town in months. That's when it hit me. Felix, he knew my phone password. He'd seen me log into my banking app before more than once. I'd never thought twice about it. We'd always had an open phone policy. No secrets, no snooping. We'd been together for 3 years. He practically lived with me at this point. It never even occurred to me that he'd steal from me. But then I remembered he had been acting a little off the past week, saying he was hanging with the guys more, staying out late, laughing at his phone, and hiding the screen. It was subtle, but now it felt like flashing red lights. I ignored. I tried calling him straight to voicemail. I texted, "Hey, where are you? Can we talk? Something weird is going on." A few hours later, he replied, "Out with the guys, back tomorrow, chill." Chill, I didn't sleep that night. I laid in bed staring at the ceiling, every possible excuse running through my head. Maybe he was planning something nice. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe, just maybe, I was overthinking it, but deep down I knew. The next morning, I did something I rarely do. I checked his best friend Andy's Instagram stories, and that's when my world completely collapsed. Felix on a beach, his arm around a woman I'd never seen before. Her name was Jasmine, and according to Andy's caption, they were on day 2 of vacation vibes with these lovebirds plural. More pictures followed: champagne glasses, beach loungers, a couple's massage, boomerang, all tagged at a resort in Cancun. Cancun? With my money, my chest felt like it was caving in. I ran to the bathroom, sat on the floor, and sobbed into a towel. I felt like I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just cheating. This was betrayal on a level I didn't even think was possible. He didn't just lie to me, he used me, he stole from me. He took something I worked so hard to build our future and spent it on someone else. He finally came home, Sunday night, tanned and relaxed like he'd been on a spa retreat. He tossed his duffel bag by the door and smiled like nothing happened. He actually leaned in to kiss me. I stepped back. "Where have you been?" He blinked, like the question surprised him. "Told you I was with the guys." I showed him Andy's stories, the beach, the photos, the girl. His entire demeanor changed, not into guilt, not regret, no, just annoyance. Like I'd caught him sneaking an extra cookie, not blowing up our relationship. He shrugged. It was last minute. Jasmine had tickets, didn't want them to go to waste. I figured, why not? I was speechless. He didn't even deny it. "I'm gonna pay you back eventually," he added. Like that made it okay. I stared at him. "You can't even afford groceries half the time. You stole from me." Felix sighed, opened the fridge, grabbed a beer. "It's not like it was your rent money or anything. Relax. You'll get over it. You'll get over it." That was it. That was my moment. The exact second I realized this man, this person I loved for 3 years, didn't love me. He never did. He used me, and now he didn't even have the decency to be ashamed. I told him to get out. He rolled his eyes, muttered something about how Jasmine wouldn't make such a big deal out of a couple $1,000 and walked out, and when the door shut behind him, I fell to the floor and cried like I hadn't in years. I spent the next few days in a fog. I called out sick from work. I barely ate. I barely slept. Mostly, I sat on the couch, phone in hand, staring at the same $267 in my bank account, hoping it would somehow go back to what it was before. Like this was all just a glitch in the system, a nightmare. Something I could wake up from, but I didn't wake up. Every hour that passed, I sank deeper into a kind of numbness I didn't recognize. Felix texted a few times from other people's numbers since I had blocked his. One message from his friend Maurice's phone said, "We need to talk." Another said, "You're being childish. It's just money. I told you I'd pay you back. Just money." To him, it was just a couple $1,000s. To me, it was a year of sacrifices. It was skipped. Starbucks packed lunches and extra shifts on weekends. It was my dream of a better place for the two of us. It was love, hope, and faith in a future that never existed. That Friday, my friend Carla invited me out. "You've been in that apartment for days," she said. "Come out, just for one drink, just to breathe." I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. The bar was packed and trivia night was in full swing. Carla and I found a small booth near the back. She ordered us drinks and started cracking jokes about our terrible guessing during the music round. I even laughed genuinely for the first time in days. It felt good, like maybe I could feel normal again, until I went to the bathroom. When I came back, Carla's eyes locked on mine, and I knew I turned toward the bar and saw Felix. He was with Andy Maurice and a few other guys I recognized from his friend group. They hadn't seen me yet, but it was only a matter of time. "Let's go," I whispered. We were halfway to the exit when Andy spotted me. He walked over, grinning. "Hey," he said way too loudly. "There she is, crying over her little piggy bank." Huh? I froze. My stomach dropped. "I mean, come on," Andy continued smirking. "Felix took a vacation with a hot girl. It's not like he bought drugs or something." I wanted to leave, I wanted to vanish, but I couldn't move. Felix saw us and started walking over, so casual, like we just ran into each other at a grocery store. He smiled. "Hey, can we talk?" I looked him dead in the eyes. "There's nothing to talk about. You stole from me. You cheated." Maurice laughed behind him. "She's still mad about that." Felix shrugged, hands in his pockets. "It's not stealing if we're together. What's yours is mine, right?" I opened my mouth to respond, but then I heard her Jasmine. She walked up behind me and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "So you're the one having a meltdown over a few dollars?" I turned around slowly. "He stole my savings," I said. "That was money I spent over a year putting away." Jasmine laughed, actually laughed. "Oh, wow, even sadder." I looked at Felix again, hoping maybe he'd say something. Defend me, tell her to stop, but he didn't. He stood there, quiet, watching. A tiny smile curled on his lips. They had all known. They had all laughed. They had made a joke out of my heartbreak. Carla grabbed my arm and said, "We're done here." She pushed past Maurice, and I followed, tears threatening to fall before we even hit the parking lot. I didn't cry until we got home, and then I couldn't stop. That night, we ordered pizza, opened a bottle of wine, and sat on my floor while I told her everything, every detail, every lie, every insult I had swallowed for months without realizing it. The next morning, I got a DM on Instagram from Jasmine. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. She said they'd been seeing each other for months, that Felix told her we were basically broken up and just roommates, that she didn't know he stole my money, but now that she did, she agreed it was gross. It wasn't just Cancun, it had started long before. All the late night helping his buddy move excuses, all the "forgot my charger, be back later" texts. It all made sense now. Carla looked at the message and just nodded. Men like him don't just suddenly cheat and steal. They build up to it. Something shifted in me that weekend. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It wasn't like I stood up and screamed, "I'm done." It was quieter than that. Still focused, almost cold. I woke up Sunday morning, and for the first time in days, I didn't cry. Instead, I made coffee, sat at the table, and started writing a list. Not a revenge list, not a dramatic escape plan, just steps I could take to pull myself out of the wreckage. Felix left behind. Step 1, change my passwords. Every account, banking, email, streaming services, even my food delivery apps, gone all new. Step 2, open a new bank account at a completely different bank. I transferred what little money I had left. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Untouched, safe. Step 3, change the locks. Felix wasn't on my lease, but he had a key. I didn't feel safe in my own apartment anymore, not knowing if he could just walk in. I called my landlord, explained the situation, and to my surprise, they agreed to have the locks changed first thing Monday morning. Step 4, clear them out. With Carla's help, I gathered everything Felix had left behind: a toothbrush, some clothes, a few old video games. I put it all in a box and left it in the hallway. He could come get it or not, I didn't care. I was done letting him live rent-free in my space. And in my head, Carla and I spent the rest of that Sunday deep cleaning my apartment. We rearranged the furniture, lit candles, played music that made us feel powerful. It sounds small, I know, but it wasn't. It was mine again. My home that night, I sat on the floor with Carla and started building a budget I couldn't replace. $2,550 overnight, but I could start. I had done it once. I'd do it again. The next morning, the locksmith came, and with the sound of that new lock clicking into place, I exhaled. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe again. At work, things were slowly returning to normal. My supervisor was supportive after I explained what had happened in vague terms: personal situation, safety concerns. She didn't pry, just nodded and asked if I felt safe. Now I said yes, and for once I actually meant it until Felix found a new number. I must have missed one during the mass blocking. When I got home, I found an envelope slipped under my door. Inside was $300 in cash and a note. Starting to pay you back. Can we talk F? $300 out of two 550. As if that would undo everything, I didn't respond. I didn't need to. He must have realized I wasn't going to engage because the next day, his mom called me. She sounded tired, sad. She apologized for his behavior, said he wasn't raised this way, that she didn't know what was going on with him lately. I told her the truth. I told her about the money, about Cancun, about Jasmine. I sent her screenshots, bank statements, messages. And I said, I'm not asking you to fix him. I just need you to know who he really is. She thanked me and she believed me. And somehow that mattered more than I expected because for weeks I'd felt like I was losing my grip on reality. Like maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was just dramatic. Maybe it was just money, but no, it wasn't just money. It was my trust, my future, my self-worth. And I was done letting anyone treat those things like they were disposable. That evening, Carla and I opened a new shared folder on Google Drive. We called it Felix Contingency Plan. We uploaded everything: screenshots, voicemails, messages, photos of his stuff, Jasmine's DMs. We even made a timeline of events in case I needed to explain it all clearly to someone else, like a lawyer or the police or a judge. I wasn't planning anything legal yet, but I wasn't taking chances anymore. The next day, I met with one of our mutual friends, August. He had always been neutral, the kind of guy who saw both sides of everything. I showed him the same evidence I gave to Felix's mom. His face said it all. I knew something was off. He said, Felix has been weird for months, pulling away, asking people for money. Last week, he said he needed help with rent. Rent? Felix never had trouble making rent before. But now that he'd burned every bridge, maybe he was realizing he couldn't live on charm and stolen savings forever. August promised he'd tell the others the truth. Not everyone will listen, he warned, but I will, and I've got your back. That night I slept better than I had in a long time. I still woke up early, still felt raw. But under all the hurt, there was something else growing. Clarity, resolve, strength. Moving day felt strange. It wasn't glamorous. No Pinterest, perfect boxes, no cute first coffee in the new place. Selfies, just me, Carla, August, a borrowed truck, and my life packed into grocery store boxes and trash bags. We moved fast. We had to. Felix had left work early, and we knew he might show up. My heart pounded the entire time. I couldn't stop looking over my shoulder. When his car finally pulled into the parking lot, we were locking the last box in Carla's trunk. The look on his face, confusion, shock, anger, will stay with me forever. But I didn't stop. I didn't say a word. We drove off. My new place wasn't fancy, a small studio across town with creaky floors and yellow walls. But it was mine. No shared keys, no shared plans, no ghost of a relationship hiding in the corners. That first night, I slept on a mattress on the floor with pizza crusts on a paper plate and a cold beer in my hand, thanks to August. There were no memories of Felix here, no expectations, no lies, just space and silence and a strange, beautiful kind of peace. The next morning, I changed my phone number. I gave it to exactly 6 people: Carla, my mom August, my boss, and 2 friends I trusted deeply. And just like that, Felix had no way to reach me, no way to twist the truth, no way to beg or guilt or manipulate his way back in. But of course he tried. A few days later, I got a voicemail from his mom. Her voice was soft, exhausted. Lena, I talked to Felix. He admitted everything. I'm so sorry. If you need anything, please let me know. I cried in the car after that one, not for Felix, but for the version of our relationship I thought was real, for the promises I believed, for the girl I used to be who truly thought we were building a life together. The next few days were quiet. I started sleeping better. I took my time, organizing the apartment, rearranging the furniture, lighting candles that smelled like new beginnings, writing down a list of small goals, cook a new recipe, go for a walk, call my sister, apply for that side gig I kept putting off. I wasn't trying to become someone else overnight. I just wanted to feel like myself again. And then Friday happened. I was at the grocery store tossing frozen dinners into a basket when I looked up and saw Maurice. He was just standing at the end of the aisle watching me. My blood ran cold. I left the cart where it was and walked toward the exit and nearly collided with Andy in the parking lot. To my surprise, Andy apologized. He said Felix had told them we were already done when Cancun happened, that the money wasn't a big deal, that Felix had been borrowing money from everyone lately, even punched a hole in Maurice's bathroom wall last week, and then he said the part that shook me, Felix keeps talking like you're gonna come back. Like any day now, I didn't say much, just nodded and got in my car. But when I got home, there was a package by my door inside $400 in cash, a rambling, desperate letter. He said he missed me, that Jasmine had dumped him, that his parents were cutting him off, that he was going to therapy and taking a DoorDash side job to pay me back. That night, he called a number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I picked up. His voice was slurred. He asked if I got the money, said his life was falling apart, said I ruined everything. I stayed quiet for a long moment, and then I said, "This wasn't one mistake, Felix. It was a series of choices, and you made them all." He cried, begged, said he'd change. I hung up. The next few voicemails were not tearful. They were angry. One at 2:37 a.m. was just Felix screaming into the phone, "You ruined my life. You never loved me." Just yelling unhinged. I saved it. Carla listened to it the next day. She didn't even flinch. She said, "He's spiraling, and that's not your problem anymore." I filed every voicemail, every screenshot, every dollar of cash returned into a folder. My own private archive of why I could never go back. The last voicemail from Felix still lives in a file on my Google Drive. I haven't listened to it again. I don't need to. It's not a scar, it's a marker. A final, ugly punctuation to a chapter that nearly broke me, but didn't. It's been 3 weeks since the night he screamed into my phone. 3 weeks of no new messages, no flowers, no desperate DMs, just silence. I still stay at Carla's some nights, not because I'm scared. Okay, maybe a little, but mostly because I feel safe there. Held, witnessed, not alone. Some days are still hard. I still flinch when I hear a notification ping from a number I don't recognize. I still check my locks twice before bed. I still walk faster to my car in parking garages. But I also do things I never used to. I cook for myself again. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I blast music when I clean, and I light candles at night, even when no one's coming over. I sit on my little balcony with tea and let the air touch my skin like it's something sacred. I downloaded a budgeting app. I made a list of goals, not huge ones, just tiny victories. Go. 1 week without crying about him. Set up automatic savings again. Wear lipstick to the store. Sleep with no nightmares. I'm checking them off one by one. I'm not healed, not completely, but I'm healing. Meanwhile, Felix. From what I hear, he's unraveling. Jasmine left him the second she learned the full truth. His parents cut him off. His friends stopped returning his calls, except Andy and Maurice, and even they seemed to be pulling away. He moved back in with his mom, lost his job at the warehouse, blew through his savings, tried to sell his gaming console for cash, and me? I don't care anymore. Not in the bitter way, not in the you'll regret this way, just in the freeing way, the quiet way. The way that says your choices are no longer mine to carry. I visited my parents last weekend. My mom made my favorite soup. My dad hugged me and didn't ask questions, just held on a little longer than usual. It felt like coming back to something real. Something that didn't require explanation, and for the first time in a long time, I let myself dream again. I want a small home with plants I don't forget to water. I want a dog that barks at squirrels and insists on sleeping under the covers. I want lazy Sundays and loud laughs and soft open love with someone who doesn't make me feel small for caring too much. Maybe I'll meet someone new one day. Maybe I won't, but either way, I'll be okay because I know who I am now, not the girl who got her savings stolen. Not the one crying at a bar while strangers laughed. I'm the woman who packed up her life piece by piece and rebuilt it from nothing. I'm the woman who left. I'm the woman who chose herself, and I'm not looking back. If you were me, what would you have done? Would you forgive someone who stole your money, your trust, and laughed while doing it, or would you walk away and never look back?